How is Virgin Galactic going to increase its revenue in the future? How much could they make? And what could it potentially do to the share price? These questions are vitally important if you are thinking of investing or holding Virgin Galactic for the long term. And in this video, I want to look at what are the potential revenue streams and how much could they generate in the future. There are in fact 3 ways that Branson and his mates have set this business up to make some serious wedge in the future. Honestly, some of these numbers are insane. Just wait and see them. I can't wait to share them. So if this sounds like your sort of thing, please do consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on any future potential content. Let's get to it. Since my video last week, a lot of people have been in touch telling me about their positions into Virgin Galactic and how concerned they are with how much the stock has declined. And I completely get it. The stock is down 80% since last summer. If you'd invested any serious amount of cash towards that top last summer or anywhere near around it, you will be looking at some frightening red numbers at the moment. Personally, I'm averaged in at $17.92 per share. I'll put a photo of my holding onto Instagram over at Neil Investor. If you want to see what my holding actually looks like, go over there. And the way I did that is I consistently bought while it was on the way up. I consistently bought while it was on the way down. That has averaged my price out to a place that I'm relatively comfortable with. I'm still down 50%, so don't get me wrong. It's not easy for any of us Virgin Galactic investors at the moment. However, I have done some extensive research onto the potential returns of this business. I can't wait to share it with you because it's certainly put a smile on my face. I'm honestly of the belief that this will be one of the biggest holdings, the biggest gainers within my entire portfolio over the life of my investing career. I could be completely wrong, so please bear that in mind too. So the first way that Virgin Galactic are going to be making some money going forward, and it's the most obvious, it's around ticket prices for space tourism. So in 2020, a Cowen study found that 39% of people with a net worth of more than $5 million are interested in paying at least $250,000 for a Virgin Galactic flight to the edge of space. The survey found that a high level number of very high net worth individuals would be prepared to pay at least $250K for the privilege. But why? Well, Instagram currently has 1.41 billion users, and this is up from 1 billion users in 2018. The photo sharing app generated $24 billion in revenue in 2020 alone, and is actually one of the most important social developments of the 21st century. People like sharing photos of their pets, their dinner, and whatever exciting thing it is that they've been up to. And the bar just keeps getting raised higher and higher. Keeping up with the Joneses is getting harder and harder. A few years ago, the rich would get away with posting a photo of their Ferrari or a photo of them drinking a cocktail on a beach in the middle of nowhere somewhere, but that just doesn't cut it anymore. Now it's all about experiences. And there aren't many experiences more impressive than traveling to space, let's be honest. And for Virgin Galactic alone, they have reported that 1,000 reservations have been made for flights on its Spaceship Two suborbital spaceplane. Of those reservations, 700 have turned into concrete bookings. And this level of payment alone could apparently already fund 100 Virgin Galactic flights alone. So the future has been paid for by these initial tickets. Now, tickets have sold for anywhere between $200,000 and $450,000. And actually, this makes them much cheaper in comparison than Bezos' Blue Origin, which are coming in at $500,000 per ticket. Now, I don't know about you, but the last time the fare came to town, it was £3 to go on the waltzers, and I balked at that. So unless there are any billionaires out there that want to sponsor me, it looks like I'm not going to be going up to space anytime soon. So let's have a look at the numbers of those that are. 1,000 tickets sold. At a conservative price, we'll call it of around $300,000, towards the lower end of the two numbers. Once that is paid, that's going to generate $300 million. And as I said, that's conservative because a lot of people paid more towards the £450,000 mark. So we're getting somewhere. 300 million revenue. It's beginning to look pretty good, but it's not enough. So let's imagine all of those flights are a roaring success. And all of a sudden, all the millionaires want a piece of the action. So we'll increase the sample pool. So there are 1.3 million US citizens with a net worth of at least $5 million. And previously we saw a report that said 40% of people with a net worth over $5 million would be interested in getting a ticket to go into space. Again, I want to be conservative with this. So let's say actually in reality, it's only going to be around 10%. So 10% of 1.3 million people, that's 130,000 people. So 130,000 people in the US buying tickets on Virgin Galactic. 130,000 people paying £300,000 each is going to generate a revenue of $39 billion. Put that into perspective. That's the revenue of Unilever. That's more than the revenue of GSK, one of the biggest pharma companies in the world. That is $3 billion more than the revenue of Coca-Cola. And we're not done yet. And I know what you're going to say. There's no chance that 10% of people within the US with a net worth of more than $5 million are going to be buying a ticket. But remember, I've just done these numbers for the US. And in case you hadn't realized, and actually, to be fair, a lot of Americans don't realize this, but there are actually 4 other continents in the globe and 195 other countries. And nearly all of those are going to have some very wealthy people living in them that want experiences just like our American friends do. They've got Instagram accounts. They want to be showing off. They want to be balling like the big boys. It's going to be happening. So if we just stop there, the potential revenue from tourism alone could make this company one of the biggest in the world just on tourism. From just tourism. I'm going to keep saying it, because there's a lot more to come. Now, I just want to caveat this at this point. I am biased because I am invested into this company, and I am personally extremely bullish on its potential returns in the future. So take everything I say with a pinch of salt. Please do your own research. However, if you have done your due diligence and you do still want to continue to invest into this business, I'll put some links below to some brokers that I use. Okay, so the second revenue stream for Virgin Galactic is around hypersonic travel. It's been nearly 19 years since the last Concorde flight, but in its heyday, British Airways and Air France flew the rich and famous across the Atlantic on a daily basis. Anyone who was anyone would travel by Concorde, and even back then, it was a status symbol that everyone craved. The airline last flew on the 23rd of October 2003 for a number of reasons that didn't continue after that, primarily around maintenance costs rising unsustainable. In my view, it was far too ahead of its time. This can happen with a lot of tech businesses. They come up with something that just isn't sustainable in the time that they're in. So it's 2022 now, as we all know, and Morgan Stanley have predicted that hypersonic travel by 2040 will be worth $800 billion. And Virgin Galactic have just announced that they're going to be able to travel you across the world at Mach 3, that's 2,200 miles an hour. That will get you from London to New York in just over an hour and a half. And if you've got any questions around the viability and consumer demand for this, just have a look in the UK and Google HS2. And for anyone that doesn't know, HS2 is basically a slightly faster train that's going to knock off 15 minutes from your journey halfway across the country, all for the bargain price of £72 billion. That's $100 billion. $100 billion of taxpayers' money to knock 15 minutes off a train journey. So clearly fast travel, there is a demand for it. Morgan Stanley have said it's going to be worth $800 billion by 2040. Virgin Galactic then, in partnership with Rolls-Royce, I did a video on Rolls-Royce last week. I'm going to put a link to it here on their prospects for 2022 if you're interested in that sort of thing. So as part of their relationship, they unveiled this beast. This is the Mach 3 aircraft, and it looks absolutely badass. Just look at it. It is beautiful. But clearly Virgin Galactic are up and running in this area, and in reality there's actually only 3 companies that actually cater for this sort of business. One of them being Virgin Galactic, the other being SpaceX, and the other being Blue Origin. So let's be conservative again and assume that by the time 2040 comes around, there's 4 companies. Let's be conservative even more and assume that Morgan Stanley are off by $200 billion and hypersonic travel is only worth $600 billion. That means the Virgin Galactic stock within this area could be worth, if it was split equally across 4, $150 billion. So $150 billion for hypersonic travel, $39 billion for space tourism. That makes this a business that generates $189 billion. Tesla made $54 billion last year. $189 billion is more than Microsoft made last year. That's the second biggest company in the world. You do the maths. We're up to $189 billion. Not too shabby. We've got one more to go. And the third revenue stream then for Virgin Galactic is around partnerships with other businesses. And the first of these deals has just been signed recently. And the business has entered into a Space Act agreement with NASA's Johnson Center to facilitate commercial participation in travel to the International Space Station. And these expeditions could range from anything from private charters to scientific research. And this is just the beginning of opening up a new avenue. This is not just about the ISS. This is around any other business throughout the world that wants to get some commercial spaceflight, for whatever reason that may be. But these contracts alone are set to be worth around $45 million to Virgin Galactic. Obviously, these numbers pale into insignificance compared to some of the other opportunities, but it all still adds up, and it opens up new opportunities, new avenues of driving revenue within this business. Again, I'm going to be really conservative. I'm not even going to include any of this potential revenue into the overall number, so we'll leave it as it is at $189 billion, because that's not too bad. However, you can make your own mind up of what the potential gains this could do for the business. So on top of this, what Virgin Galactic have done recently over the course of the last year is they've moved from a really an R&D type of business that is still in development to actually upon the cusp of commercializing the work that they are doing. And the way that they've done that is they've brought in Michael Colglazier. So I didn't mention this before, but this is a major step change for me. This is the business transitioning into the future. It's transitioning into tourism. It's transitioning into generating revenue. The technology is there. It has been proven. Tests have been successful. Pretty much everyone that they've done. Things have gone back a little bit. And that's what's caused a decline in the share price. That on top of the fact that there's been share dilution. I spoke before about share dilution within this business. It has been done in order to generate the tech to continue the development. It has not been done for any other sinister reason beyond that, because when you do share dilution, you have to explain exactly why you've done it. So the three reasons I've mentioned before, the fact that they've got new leadership that's pushing this business forward, the potential revenue streams that we've talked about are unreal. So what could it do to the potential share price going forward? Well, God only knows. There's no way for me to be able to predict. But as I've said, if the numbers come in, as I've mentioned, it's going to be worth more than Microsoft. Now, in my mind, that's not really a reality of what this business could be doing. I do genuinely think it will be the biggest increase within my portfolio will be held within this business. How that will transition over the coming years is yet to be seen. But there are obviously some very good opportunities, and some very intelligent people, much more intelligent than me, have done a lot of research into the potential revenue streams that there could be. So what does this all mean? It means I'm going to continue to hold. It means I'm going to continue to drip into it. But be careful. It is still a speculative business. It could still go to nothing. So please only do invest what you're comfortable to lose within this business. By the way, part of this channel is that I am investing for financial independence. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is I've got to track my net worth to see what I'm worth. And if you're interested in seeing what I'm worth, what I'm doing against my targets to reach financial independence, and how to calculate yours, please watch this video here.